This video is going to cover 3 important shoulder exercises to help train your rotator cuff. It's going to be important for keeping your shoulder strong and healthy and make it more resilient to injuries. We're going to be covering the supraspinatus, the subscapularis, and the infraspinatus in the teres minor. First, we're going to go through medial rotation, or otherwise known as internal rotation, for the subscapularis muscle. Now, the subscapularis muscle is stronger than your lateral rotators, so you can use a bit more resistance. So I'm going to use a double blued band. For medial rotation, we're going to be doing it at 90 degrees of shoulder abduction, or our arm out to the side. And the reason why is for the foundational shoulder exercises, we want to be training in a more compromised position. So I'm just pulling down, twisting my shoulder towards the floor. I'm thinking to myself that I'm just rotating my elbow on a spit. I really want to emphasize that pure rotation through the shoulder here. Now you can stand straight or you can stand in a bit of a staggered stance like I am. It doesn't really matter for the purpose of this exercise. So frequency of this exercise is I like to do 2 to 3 sets. Work your way from 10 to 15 repetitions. You want to have good endurance of these rotator cuff muscles. Next, we have the infraspinatus, a little bit weaker than your subscapularis, but just as important, if not more important. I like to just stand on the band for this one here, and now we're doing the opposite movement, which is lateral rotation, or rotating your palm up towards the ceiling. Now, the biggest mistake in the gym is people will do these exercises holding a dumbbell, and they'll be doing it with the arm at the side, saying that they're warming up the rotator cuff. However, we got to know that dumbbells only work against gravity. And if you're holding it at your side like this and rotating it out this way, you are not training your rotator cuff. Again, for lateral rotation exercises such as this one, I like to have your arms out to the side because we want to train that compromised position for when we're doing bench press, incline dumbbell press, incline barbell presses, overhead pressing, all those sorts of movements. We want good endurance, so we want to be doing 2 to 3 sets, working our way from 10 to 15 repetitions. The last fundamental exercise is training your supraspinatus, and this is shoulder abduction, or a lot of people recognize as lateral rotation. The only recommendation I'm going to make for this exercise is to make it slightly more specific for the rotator cuff, is rotate your palms forward when you're doing your lateral raise. Now this just takes a little bit more emphasis onto the supraspinatus and takes a little bit less load off of the medial deltoid. Realistically, you can just do your lateral raises the same as you always do, just out to the side, and it will have benefit. But if you want to be a little specific and say you're training your rotator cuff a little bit more, you can definitely do it palms facing forward here. Again, I kind of like to work 2 to 3 sets, 10 to 15 repetitions. Realistically, training your rotator cuff should be a regular occurrence. Trying to do it 2 to 3 times per week with a day's rest in between is absolutely appropriate and highly recommended to keep it as robust as it can. It's really important for injury prevention. Like, these are the muscles that hold your shoulder into your socket. So when you're pressing using your chest or doing pull downs with your lats or using your deltoids for different exercises, they're all pulling at your arm. And these little rotator cuff muscles should be called the depressor cuff because it's holding the humerus in place. So having them strong and capable in various compromised positions is so important for overall health. Now, in the next video I'm going to make, I'll be going through some more fun and different variations. But these are the foundational movements. Being able to master these 3 exercises is incredibly important. I usually recommend starting with this routine, trying to get from 2 to 3 sets and work your way from 10 to 15 repetitions. This can take anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks. After that, it's appropriate to change increased load or change the exercises to some more complex variations, which you can see in the next video.